suffisamment de quoi nous nourrir. Nous pouvons dépasser même notre production, malheureusement. Par manque d'organisation, nous sommes encore obligés de tendre la main pour demander des aides alimentaires. Ces aides alimentaires qui nous bloquent, qui nous inspirent, qui installent dans nos esprits cette habitude, ces réflexes de mendier ces aides par notre grande production. Il faut réussir à produire plus. Produire plus. Produire plus parce que il est normal que celui qui vous donne à manger vous dicte également ses volontés.
Welcome to today's episode, and I see with your one and only host Okuni Kachiko Edwin Padre Pio, aka Watermelon Gang, aka Pure World, aka 187 Bill. And today we'll be looking at the life of Thomas Sankara and understanding him, understanding his life, and understanding what he meant for Africa as a continent and Burkina Faso as a country. His life and understanding him and everything he lived for, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. And everything he stood for, understanding him from, and I would like to say that I'll be explaining everything in detail from both perspectives, like we always do in this channel. So please, if you've not subscribed and if you've not liked this channel, I beg, try like this channel, please, I beg.
Thomas Isodowe, known as Sankara, came into this world on Wednesday, 21st December 1949, to Joseph and Marguerite Sankara. Sankara spent his early years in Goa, a town in the southwestern region of Upper Volta. His parents wanted him to be a priest, but he ended up joining the military. In 1970, Sankara, now 20 years, went for further studies at the military academy in Madagascar, which he graduated in 1973. While in Madagascar, he built his experience in military strategy, history, agriculture, and absorbed works from Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin. He returned to Upper Volta in 1972, and due to a border conflict between Mali and Upper Volta later in the year, he gained fame for his performance in the conflict. In 1976, he became a commander in a training center in Po, where he later met Blaise Compaoré in Morocco, who later became his best friend and the architect for his rise to power and also his death. In 1981, Colonel Seye Sabo, the then head of state, appointed Sankara as a Minister of Information. Personally, I feel this is where we start seeing the Sankara that will fight for the betterness of his people. During his tenure as a Minister of Information, he went to work every day on a bike instead of driving the luxurious car allocated for a minister. He also allowed journalists and media houses the right to write whatever they want and the right to free speech. He resigned from the office based on anti-labor laws or anti-labor drift passed during the Seye Sabo regime. But in January 1983, after another coup, he became the prime minister to Major Dr. Jean-Baptiste Ouedraogo, but was briefly dismissed on 17 May 1983, arguably due to the push for progressive reform under Ouedraogo regime. Report shows that due to the rift and need for Ouedraogo to consolidate his power and maintain relationship with France, Sankara was arrested, and the arrest proved very unpopular among younger officers in the military regime, and this imprisonment created enough momentum for his friend Blaise Compaoré to lead another coup against the government. After the coup d'etat instigated by his best friend Blaise Compaoré, Sankara, now 33 years old, became the head of state on the 4th of August 1983. Inspired by his revolutionary idols such as Jerry Rawlings of Ghana, Che Guevara and Fidel Castro of Cuba, he set out to make Burkina Faso, then known as Upper Volta, the best place to live. Now, this is the junction where we have to analyze every policies made by Thomas Sankara, because I feel he isn't giving his roses based on the magnitude of policies and changes he made to his country when you compare him with other African leaders or African heroes. So let me explain, or let me use this to portray my point. There were great African leaders that had views and ideas but were not able to carry it out prolifically. Example is Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, that was ousted based on sheer mismanagement of government resources and that brought about economic disaster. Or you have Julius Nyerere of Ghana, whose policies didn't provide results. But Sankara was different, because in his first 3 years in office, he vaccinated about 2 million Burkinabes and to just stop meningitis, polio, and measles. But prior to Sankara's presidency, in Burkina Faso, he had about 20.8 infant mortality rate. But when he came into office, it drastically reduced to 14.5%. He was the first African government, his government was the first African government to recognize AIDS as a pandemic to Africa. During his reign in office, he built about 700-kilometer railway road built by the Burkina Faso people themselves just to extract manganese, so it will make it very easy for them to extract manganese. He tried as much as possible to curb the illiteracy rate in his country, which was about 90%. The illiteracy rate was about 90%. He also fought for the rights or women's rights. He actually stopped genital mutilations and forced marriage, and also stopped polygamy. He did many good things. There are very, very numerous to count. He was one of Africa's first self-sustaining government. There were many, really many things that both the rights, the freedom, the cost of food was drastically reduced. But like I always say, this channel is always built about or bent on really saying things from both perspectives, because looking at his life, I feel that all heroes can't be white as snow, because in his tenure too, you have ups and downs and you have flaws. Take for example, one of his policies, which was the People's Revolutionary Tribunal Court, actually went wrong actually was disastrous, because people turned the court into, or the tribunal into, a place to quench huge grudges and a place to backbite or kill people. You also have the actual dismissal of 2,500 teachers in the country. So there are actually many things he did, but also he had flaws. So this channel will always, and I personally will always state the flaws and state the good side. So I round up by simply saying there are things we as Africans need to learn. We as Africans need to learn from Thomas Sankara, and one of them is that the white man isn't our problem. Our problem is we as a people. Our problem is just the normal problem of humanity, which is greed, lust for power, and position. That's just it. Our problem is no different from the white man problem. The only problem we have as a people is that we're very disorganized within ourselves, and we prefer the truth. We prefer tribal identity rather than the truth and what is actually right. Take for example, people or the Ugoni people that sold or testified against their own brother Ken Saro-Wiwa and ended up recanting their statement years later, or the killing of Patrice Lumumba by his right-hand man, there are actually many things, but it can only happen. We can only act as a tool for the plot of the new colonialist corporation. The new colonialist corporation can't really do, or agenda can't really work if they don't find loophole within us. I don't know if that really makes sense, but that's just the truth. And I'll use the word of the great fella where he said they find a man of low mentality and give him $1 million bread. But what we're forgetting is that the actual value for the $1 million bread is 1 trillion. So that's just how I round up. I don't really want to dive into it, but it's the same thing. Like the oligarchs of the Burkina Faso conspired against Thomas Sankara alongside the new colonialist corporation, and till date they are still suffering because if you look at it, Thomas Sankara stayed 5 years and achieved much than Blaise Compaoré staying there 27 years and not even achieving anything. So that's just it, guys, and that's just the truth.
Hello, guys, and I'm out, man. I really appreciate you for staying to this very moment of this video. Like, I'm all out, like I said. So I really thank you for staying to the end of this video, and please try subscribe, like this video, share this video, do everything. Just help a brother out. Like I'm just starting this channel, so try as much as possible to help me out. Big like, thank you very much, and God bless you. See you in the next video. And I still remain your one and only host, Koyo Kachuku Edwin Padripu, aka Watermelon Gang, aka Pure World, and 1 in 7. See you in the next video. Peace out.